What's up, everybody? Ryan Groth here with the Growth Minded Contractor Show. Thanks for hopping on. I have a special guest and I have a special topic today. AI. You guys have been hearing AI, private equity, AI, private equity, AI. It's everywhere. I am here to bring in a longtime friend and face in the roofing and trade industries, Michael Gogan. Michael Gogan he was with CompanyCam for a long time. You've been around the space for a decade or so. You've seen Michael around. And so he went over to Alivo, which is a startup that's doing some great things from a tech standpoint in the trades and roofing's, I think, their primary niche, and some other trades as well, just like STG does a lot of roofing plus other trades. So what I want to do is just feature this software, talk about the
Hey,
AI itself and jump right in. So Michael, what's up, dude? Welcome.
how you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
So you've joined Alivo. What's Alivo? Let's hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are AI agents built for, I'm going to say roofing. So like at the end of the day, we started, and I say we, this was before I joined the team. I'm new, but it was built for the trades. And then as it started going, roofing kind of became the trade that we had the most clients of. And so it was like, well, let's really dial in on these agents for roofing contractors. So very roofing heavy in terms of our training of our agents. We have currently 4 agents. We've got a couple more that will be going live very soon. But right now we have 4 agents. We have Lily, who answers phone calls. We have Evan, who answers all web inquiry, all Facebook, SMS, Google, LSA, all of those kind of leads. Evan's going to handle all of that. We have Alex, who's going to follow up and drive to get proposals signed. So he's kind of the sales rep that's going to be like in their back pocket, helping push things across the finish line. Those are our front end agents. And then we have Jenna on the back end. And Jenna is an agent to drive customer satisfaction. And then once she's proven that it's a good job and they were satisfied, she pushes for that review on Google or wherever they want their reviews. So those are our 4 agents. Like I said, very heavy in the roofing. So our training is very roofing specific, obviously through our partnership with STG, which is brand new, but we can even start building in best practices from STG of like follow-up sequences, those kind of things. We can get very customized with how our agents are working for you and your business.
So fun. So it was Lily, Evan, Alex, and Jenna. Was those the 4?
Yep. Yep.
Cool. And yeah, I've seen a demo of it. I tried to kind of break it. It was fun. It was like handling all my objections really well in the chat and then like the phone agents. So really cool. Let's talk about this whole current way and how everybody's done it. We know in roofing, there's like the office lady, the HVAC and plumbing, electrical. They actually use the word CSR. We haven't really adopted that language in roofing. I call it CSR. We have inside sales, outside sales. We hear sales coordinators, client success, brand ambassadors, but director of first impressions, you have people that like are smiling, smiling on the phone. All that said, there hasn't really been, to my knowledge, really strong roofing training and best practice on how to go about that pre-sales rep handling of calls. It's been everybody's doing their own thing, but HVAC seems to be very opinionated on it. And they've actually there's like full CSR consultancies that all they do is help coach and do it. There's done for you CSR services, there's live agents. There's so many solutions for handling inbound calls, which I know in roofing is not just been matured, but then you have this. So you have like this roofing, which I think has been relatively immature. And then you have, in terms of the inside sales handling of calls, and then you have HVAC that's been more matured. And then you have AI coming into this. So I think there's been a realm of thought of like, we want a human being answering the phone, but then there's off hours, there's all these other things that factor. And then there's like, no one wants to talk to an AI person. What are the core beliefs that can be broken? And why would you break those core beliefs in terms of using an Alivo type solution? And give us some reasons for that.
Yeah. So I'll just throw a few stats at you and like feel free to ask me for more because I've probably got some more. The one is you reference, I always call her Jan in the office. Jan is like the glue that holds every roofing company together.
And she does more than that, right? She's not just listening for the phone.
She's got so many hats on, but if you ask a lot of roofing owners, like, hey, 8 to 5, 7:30 to 4:30, whatever your hours of Jan in the office are, what percentage of the phone ring does she get to? they're going to say 97% of them. She's getting almost all of them. She's never hardly missing a call. Reality, based on studies that we have, is Jan's getting about 2/3 of the calls. She's getting to them, whether she's doing another task, whether she's on a call when another call comes in, whatever it is. So that 8 to 5 where you're like, we don't have a problem there, you may have a problem. So that's one kind of myth that is out there of, people are calling in during business hours. When they call in during business hours, and this is kind of the AI myth, they're not calling in saying, I better talk to a live human. They're calling in saying, Ryan, I'm calling your business right now because I need you to solve a problem for me. And I need to get that solved right now. That's my hope. And so, those 2/3 that are maybe not getting answered, and obviously it's different in every business. Some businesses have those roll over to sales guys or owners or whatever. So maybe there's a higher propensity to get them answered. But whoever they're rolling over to, you don't want them answering phone calls anyway. So like, that's one kind of misnomer is 8 to 5, we're fine. You might think you are, but I promise you're missing calls. If you can have Lily answering those calls for you and her only goal is to push to get you to an appointment, oh my goodness, look, you're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 more appointments a month just from your 8 to 5. So that's one. Another big one is, the after hours. And I've tested some really quality roofing companies, and I'll call them at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. at night just to see, like, hey, what happens at 8 o'clock at night when I call this $35 million roofing company? And you'd be amazed how many are going to send you to voicemail and get back to you the next business day. That's kind of the common practice. If I'm calling at 8 o'clock at night, I probably am wanting to get a problem solved, generally speaking. And I'm probably going to call until I can get that problem solved. So the stat that kind of goes with that is roughly 10% of people that call and get a voicemail actually leave a voicemail. So, that's actually 20%. Take your number of voicemails you get on a daily basis or a weekly basis, monthly basis, take that times 5. That's actually how many calls you have incoming and after hours. And if you have something answering the phone, whether that's a call center, Lily's now going to be able to push all of those calls to booking appointments. People are not going to get off the phone and go call someone else because they just want to get their problem solved. And the other big one is, like, a lot of these people are using call centers. And I'm not knocking call centers, but you can train your agent to know your business inside and out and to know it perfectly every single time. There is a good chance that a call center is probably working for multiple people, probably doesn't know your business inside and out, and really is just triaging. Whereas like Lily can go and get those things pushed to.
Not to mention the cost.
Not to mention the cost. So that's kind of some of the stats and things with Lily. Evan is really, in my opinion, the rock star. Lily's kind of the showy, the flashy, the really cool. It's like, holy cow. And like you said, you tried breaking her. She is really, really good at having conversation that's intelligent. I was on a demo the other day and the guy said, I Googled the most mediocre, middle of the road roofing contractor, and you're the one that came up. And she just took it in stride better than I would have if I was on the other end. She was like, well, I'm sorry to hear that that's what you were looking for. Our goal here at Acme Roof is to always go above and beyond, meet your standards. We want to exceed those expectations. And hopefully when we're done, you won't see us as middle of the road. Some reply like that was just instant, off the cuff. And I'm, not your typical, like, very, structured, like, press 1 for this or 2 for that. I'm going to give Delta and American Airlines and all the airlines a hard time because, man, you ever called into those and it's awful dealing with their automated whatever voice.
Yeah.
Lily's very conversational in hers, but Evan's kind of our rock star, in my opinion. Think of all your Google LSA, your Angie, your HomeBuddy, your Thumbtack, all the different lead aggregators that you have going. If they fill out a form, even on your website, Evan is there instantly. We put a 20-second delay into Evan to just give it a little bit more like lifelike feel. But Evan is there instantly saying, hey, Ryan, let us get you taken care of here, asking the questions. Cool thing about our agents is they're all customizable to where whatever qualification questions you want to ask, we put those in there. And then we're driving Evan to book appointments. So Evan's just go, go, go.
Sorry, what's the difference between Lily and Evan again? Lily's a voice agent, Evan's a chat agent.
Yep, chat voice. And I'll tell you how they're kind of cool here in a second. So yeah, Evan is all text, email, form fill. He's following up with all of that. The thing with Evan is 97% of text messages get read in the first, I think, 3 or 5 minutes. Like basically, you see a text message in the first 3 to 5 minutes, 97% of the time. And so Evan is playing where most people are operating anyway. He's playing in the cell phone, right there in text. So we have really high rates of success with Evan driving to bookings. But what's really cool is, say somebody lands on your website, maybe they put in a few pieces of information on your form fill. Phone number obviously would need to be on the first page. Otherwise, we can't reach out to them. But as soon as they do that and they consent to like having you guys reach out, if they don't book that appointment, whether they got busy, got cold feet, whatever, after 5 minutes or whatever you program your agents, Evan just hollers across the office at Lily and says, "Hey, Lily, Ryan was just on the website. Here's his phone number. Said he needed something, but he did not book an appointment. Can you give him a call?" And now Lily's going to dial you and she's going to say, "Hey, this is Lily with Acme Roof, Ryan's Roof, whatever it is. Saw that you needed something from the website, wanted to make sure we got you on our schedule."
So you have Lily, who's the voice, and then you have Evan, who's the text and is he the chat agent on the website
Yep.
as well?
Yep. He's going to handle your chat, those kind of things.
And then now let's talk about like after the proposal's delivered, it hasn't been signed yet. And
Perfect.
there's like pipeline, rehash, all those things. Who's that one and how does that work?
Yep. So that's Alex. And so essentially what we coach our clients on is, obviously we want one call close on residential stuff. That's, I'm sure, what you guys are teaching at STG is like, hey, we're one call closing this. So sales rep has two outcomes. They closed it or they didn't close it. When they get in the truck on a non-close, what we know to be true on sales reps is they're probably the absolute worst on follow-up. What they're really good at is they're really good at selling in the moment. You're busy, they're running appointments. They might reach out once or twice to Mrs. Jones to follow up on getting that proposal signed. They've got new leads that they're running. They've got new low-hanging fruit. Mrs. Jones just kind of falls by the wayside. That's where Alex comes into play. So what happens is you get into the truck, you didn't close. You can take your entire estimate and you can give that to Alex. Just drag and drop it over to Alex and say, "Alex, this didn't close." Like, you don't have, like, it automatically does this, but you're just pulling it over there because it hasn't closed. And Alex is going to have a cadence that Alex is going to work on. So Alex is going to be following up on whatever cadence you set up.
Is Alex text or voice?
Alex is all text. He can call Lily back in. He can tag Lily in to come in if we need to call. But again, back to that 97%, the vast majority of your success is going to come from text. And you can actually drag drop in your proposal and you can put in customizable signature spots. So if it's right there, we can actually add signature spots in there for them. And Alex is going to be following up on that. What's really cool and powerful about Alex is the more you arm him with in that proposal and inspection report, more intelligently he can speak to getting that signed. So maybe we actually have this as a real life example. You drag and drop it, you turn him loose. Homeowner says, "Ryan, why can't we just repair the few places versus why do we need to replace the entire roof?" And Alex is going to be able to say, "Hey, because of XYZ, we have to do a replacement."
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, then you got one more.
Jenna.
Jenna.
So Jenna's she's kind of your reputation management. She's going to follow up post job and just ask, how are things, everything to your satisfaction? How did we do? Whatever questions you want asked. But as soon as we get to the point where we're like, okay, we're pretty sure that everything is good, they're happy, then Jenna's going to go and push for that 5-star review. So her whole train of like, let's drive for a 5-star review.
That's awesome. That's on text as well.
Yep. She's all through text.
Wow. So what kind of traction are you guys getting with contractors and like, how are we seeing results? Have you guys gotten some results and some case studies so far?
Yeah. Absolutely. So we connect with all the lead aggregators. A lot of our clients are seeing a double in their booking rates. So
Wow.
From different ones, Roofle is a great example. We've got multiple case studies that actually we'll be publishing here soon. They might be published by the time this goes live, but we've got a few case studies with Roofle where we're seeing a 2x increase in bookings with leads coming from Roofle. Just, leveraging the agents back and forth.
Yeah. So now we're taking people who are price conditioned, or more price conditioned, so they're more qualified or pre-qualified, and they're showing up maybe twice as often or twice as
Yes,
many
they
people
were.
are booking.
Yep, as they were. And
That's wild. That's gonna be 4 or more times effective for a company, just that.
yeah, absolutely. And like the speed to lead that we see with like the Angies and those kind of things, man, it's it's a race and we are on all the time, and that's the thing is like I talked to a contractor the other day that form fill and I was like, well, tell me about your process for when not even an Angie form, just a form on your website gets filled out. When do you get back to them? And they said, okay, well, the form gets filled out. It goes straight to our owner. They were actually really, really excited about the fact that it went straight to the owner, which is terrible spend of the owner's time, but like, oh, it goes straight to our owner. And then the owner gets that to one of our sales team leads, depending on type of job it could be. And then that sales team lead is going to triage whether it should be run by them or one of their reps. And so I was like, well, how long is that taking? And they were like, maybe an hour, 2 hours at the most. Like we're pretty quick. And we're talking 8 to 5 here. And, that speed to lead. If I'm on my lunch and I don't get an answer pretty much immediately, I'm probably jumping to the next one because it's like, okay,
Sure.
I've got time here as a homeowner. I've got a problem. I just need somebody to come out and get that taken care of for me. And so that's where like an Evan just comes into play instantly, where it's like, he's 20 seconds and he's, in your SMS and he's like, hey, Ryan, we can take care of that problem for me. Give me a few more pieces of information. Let me get you on the calendar here. And that's truly what homeowners want is they want to know that their problem is going to get solved. And they're really not concerned about if it's AI solving their problem or if it's a actual human on the other end.
It's cool. Amazing. So, yeah, you guys are seeing, Roofle to Alivo case studies. I'm imagining you're working with people who don't use Roofle.
Absolutely.
I know you guys are seeing some improvements there as well, with those companies.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, a few of the big things as far as stats go, all your lead aggregators, we see an uptick there. And then the number of bookings that you get after hours, that's really where, I mean, Alivo more than pays for itself, usually in like a week's worth of bookings after hours. Because even if you think you have it dialed where you're like, oh, we got a call center and they take great notes and we call them back the next morning. If you think of your from the homeowner's point of view, it's like, okay, I left my information. Didn't sound like that person I was talking to really knew a whole lot about what they were talking about, which why would they? They're a call center. They're probably not going to be fully dialed in on the process. There's a good chance you're like, maybe I'll try one more person, and you're not leaving voicemails. The call centers are a little like, but if I can get something on the phone that's saying, oh, hey, you've got missing shingles. We're sorry to hear about that. Is it more than 3 stories? Do you have skylights? Do you have solar? Like all the questions you would want asked. Well, we can come out. Let me know a few times at work, or here's a few openings we have for tomorrow, or whatever it is. Now we're throwing stuff right on their calendar. So yeah, whether they're using Roofle or not, we are definitely having
Yeah.
success.
So it's like more appointments in. It's like more. I mean, I remember a stat I do with our sales training. It's like a 500% chance of getting the deal if you call within 60 seconds and book, or or speaking with somebody within 30, 60 seconds. And then follow up, 80% of salesmen a fifth to 12th contact. If you just look at some basic stats like speed to lead, you know, um, booking appointments, that's going to reduce the amount of calls they're going to be making to your competitors. And if you did add Roofle, then you have a pre-qualifying price conditioning component in there. So you have like a higher intent of people aware of price. You have speed to lead. You have some basic questions answered, some objections that have already been dealt with. Then you have a higher number of calls, and then a show, the booking rate increases. I think show rate's always pretty high with home services. Like it's like people don't
Yeah.
show up to the door. Like that's always been pretty high, like the sit to demo rate. And then you have the follow-ups that are happening that are not happening rather, manually, but need to happen. It's pretty awesome. And then you have reviews, which is huge for your online reputation. So
Absolutely. Well,
that's
and
awesome. Yeah.
obviously I'm brand new, so built a partnership with you guys. Even like adult marketing, we have a partnership going live with them. And you think about it, you're sending out, well, yard signs. We are just going with the line that yard signs that answer themselves. So it's, I see the neighbors getting their roof done and yard signs there, and I give it a call when I got home from work. Well, what do we know to be true? When I get home from work, you're probably not open as an office. So it's probably going to voicemail or a call center. If I can go to Lily and she can, know all about your business and book an appointment, that's a win. But then those like postcard mailers and stuff, a lot of them are going to have QR codes on them. Man, the last thing I want to do is that QR code that gets scanned at 5:30 at night, wait till noon the next day to get back to them. It doesn't seem like a ton of time, but when me as a homeowner decide, okay, hey, now is the time that I'm going to get this problem solved. If your QR code can't get me to getting a booked appointment fairly quickly,
Yeah.
maybe I go and look at somebody else. Like you said,
Yeah.
how do I limit calls and interaction with my competitors?
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Where do people go find out and get a demo of Alivo?
Yeah. So you can go to Alivo.ai/partner/STG. Alivo.ai/partner/STG. And anybody that comes over will get, because they're coming from you guys or from hearing this, we're going to waive the onboarding fee. So we'll do a $2,500 waived onboarding fee.
Huge.
And we'll take great care of you. Like I said, I think the biggest thing is the roofing kind of focus we have. Obviously, if you're in other home services, come hang out with us. We can customize, but we can take our already best practices in roofing that we have, and then we can really tailor those to your business. And then obviously we'll be working closely together. So anything that's like, hey, here's the STG best practices, we can go ahead and put all of those right into your accounts for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, bro. I think this is exciting. I'm glad to see you having done great things already in the space, partnering up with this group. It's gotten me to be aware of it and spread the word. So you guys check out alivo.ai/partner/STG and get that $2,500 onboarding fee waived. I mean, the monthly's great deal. So get locked in before they probably raise their prices. But yeah, it should be a sweet ROI for you guys. And at the end of the day, you don't want to spend money on Angie Home Advisor if you know your intake process sucks. It's like, why would you do it when you don't have a good process? So it's like, I'm thinking about this. Like, all right, like if you're a contractor, let's say you're a roofer, you have Alivo, you're running ads, you're spending money on leads, you have Alivo booking appointments, and you have sales reps that are trained using STG. They're not just going to be laydowns and show up and throw up, and they're going to be like pro sales reps. And then they're locked in. You have like a sales culture and you're driving results and you're helping homeowners. I mean, man, it's a pretty sweet recipe. So you have the right engine on marketing, lead gen. You have the inbound being captured properly every time the right way. And then you have sales reps that are trained and accountable and coached on a system dealing with human beings. And you throw Roofle in there for pricing, conditioning. Then you throw in, brand. It's like, man, you can do some damage in your market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it, man. Look forward to working with you and all of, your STG clients and followers. And let me know if you guys have any questions.
Let's go. See you guys.
See ya.